And we're back here once again with another episode of the Cloud9 podcast, season 12, episode 1, actually. So thank you guys for watching the show all this time. We are finally entering a new season, and I'm going to have some interesting changes coming up this season that I'll talk about much later on, actually. But if you guys are new to the channel, or returning viewer that you have not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on this episode of the Cloud9 podcast if you enjoyed it. Comment down below, hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever we upload a brand new video or go live. And today it was the Esports World Cup, and we've been watching. Jacob hasn't watched that yet, but I did, so I'll let him watch the games and not get spoiled, obviously. And he can see just whatever the hell that format is right there, because that format is just really, really not good. I'm just saying. This is obviously a spoiler for any of the games. The format literally is it's best of threes until the finals, actually. That means you have quarterfinals and semis, also best of threes. Now, I have no problem with single elimination, but if you're going to fly out there to Saudi Arabia just to play League of Legends, can at least be a best of 5, actually? Like, why can't it be a best of 5? Why does it have to be a best of 3? That is so fucking not worth to go over there and play potentially 2 games and then you're gone. Why can't it just be a best of 5? Keep the same single elimination, just make it a best of 5. Like, why?
Well,
I don't understand.
You know why they're doing that, right?
Get the fuck out.
Saudi Arabia's going, go, come on, let's pay us. Here's money. Unfortunately, they don't have enough money to really fund a full tournament, so it's just, hey, do this little thing, and we'll pay you a bunch of money. But
Did you see the crowd? Basically, after the BLGT1 series, the crowd is literally empty. Ain't nobody over there watching that shit.
I'm not surprised. Why
They're
does
just
that not shock me?
Just literally completely just no one there watching. And, dude, a lot of people were talking about all this, like, caster stuff and shit like that. This is what I always tell people. Do not go on social media and say things that will potentially come back to bite you in the ass. I'm not saying don't speak your mind. What I'm saying is, like, don't always, what's the word we say? Don't always, like, virtue signal, because if there's ever something that happens in your field that's going to require people to look at you like you're the beacon of what you said you were going to stand for, then if you can't stand for that, people are going to be like, yeah, you're a hypocrite. And I told people before, I get the
model.
Yeah, like I told people, dude, I get the hypocrisy part. I am not like, I don't disagree with people on that. I think the casters have been hypocrites with a lot of stuff. But I'm so to people right now, bills do not care about if you are being hypocritical on Twitter or on Instagram or Facebook. Bills got to get paid. When your bill says your internet is $200, that bill has to get paid. It doesn't matter what you said on Twitter 2 years ago. Bills have to get paid. And this is what I would say to casters. Stop fucking virtue signaling, okay? We are here just to talk about League of Legends and play League of Legends. That's it. I could give 2 shits and a fucking popsicle about anything else, honestly. That's it.
Like people do is pulling back, yes.
Yeah, like all these people do is just talk about gay this. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. Who cares? And this is the thing. Most of these people probably don't care about that either. All they're doing is just saying shit on social media for brownie points. And then, hey, wait a minute. You said you didn't like this stuff, but now you're taking money from this place of the world where they do these bad things to people. Yeah, but money talks. Of course it always did. It was always about the fucking money.
Yeah.
It always was.
They're doing the Disney model of, we're going to stand for this, we're going to stand for this, we're going to stand for this. Oh, but we're only going to do it in this little background thing that we can easily erase so that it doesn't hurt the Chinese market, but we're doing it.
Like, and then I even told people, if we're going to bitch about Saudi Arabia doing this, people forget, at MSI, back in 2022, remember you watched it, RNG were able to literally stay home in their boxers. Ben was in his underwear playing League. Ben, the guy that's on BLG right now, the guy that's basically, clapped T1 a lot of T1.
Don't forget the Hong Kong attitude situation a while back too.
Yeah, like if we're gonna bitch about Saudi Arabia, China literally had one of their teams at MSI 2022 stay home to play. Then basically they had a situation where they had to remake a whole bunch of best of ones because the internet lag connection or some bullshit like that. Even this year in the LPL, Sheer is on JDG and he's 16, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Or we like
clarification. He's 16. Wink, wink.
Yeah. So much bullshit that China's done, actually, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I'm just calling out all that bullshit. Like, what I'm saying basically is if we're gonna call out Saudi Arabia on things, we should call out other places on things like that. Like Riot themselves got in trouble, people, in a major I'll say misogynistic law. I don't like to use buzzwords, but like remember that huge lawsuit they had in California a long time ago where they had to pay a lot of this money out to women. Guys, if Riot really cared about women, why are they taking money from Saudi Arabia? It's just, here's the fun fact, guys. They don't care about women. They don't care about any of us. All they care is that we all they care about is that if we buy skins and play their game. That's all they care about. Anything else they say is basically just worthless at the end of the day. It's completely nonsense, honestly.
Well, but here's the thing that really gets me. When that lawsuit hit home, how many Riot executives were fired? 0. None.
Trinamir, not fired. Trinamir, remember, right? Trinamir? The guys
from what I understand, obviously I didn't read the lawsuit or anything, but I think he was one of the main promoters of the one just creating this bro atmosphere of assaulting women. And it's like, why was he not canned? Show him at the door, but nope, can't do that.
Yeah. Right? Is that like it's crazy? The companies for the games that I love to play, YuGiOh and League and all those other companies. Well, all these companies are trash. Riot is probably worse than what Konami is. Konami just is very silent on everything when it comes to YuGiOh. Yeah, because Konami, what they do is they know they'll do a bad thing, but they don't like tweet about it. They're just like they'll just like shut up. Riot has their employees go out, start saying bullshit, just nonsensical things. Recently, I don't know if you heard about the story for the LEC. Remember, they fired a whole bunch of people, and then they flew people from here, from our Riot, to their Riot to fix the issues. Oh my God. Why not just use the people there to fix the issues? Its company is bad. Like, so I wasn't surprised that they took money from Saudi Arabia, because I told people the esports operation for them don't make a lot of money. I was trying to ask people, how do you think these teams make money? They don't really. People say, well, sponsorships. Sponsorships are a glorified, hey, I'm kind of taking someone else's money to fund my operation because I don't have enough. I can't generate my own revenue. That's what sponsorships are.
And this episode is sponsored by
yeah, Pornhub. We're sponsored by Pornhub.
Watch this tentacle monster do stuff in Japanese.
I think some of them do care, but I also think most of it is just performative. I don't think they really do, because it also depends on the money too. If the money, let's say the check, if the check is big enough, they don't care, honestly. Most of them wouldn't.
I've been around the block a few times. What I've learned about this is about everybody. They care exactly how far their paycheck goes. Yeah. Because if you get, if you offer a person enough money, they will sell out any moral they have or anything.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't do it. I'm just pointing out that
no question. Everybody's got a price.
Yeah,
it reminds me of that old saying. You go up to a woman and it's like, hey, will you sleep with me for $1 billion? It's like, oh, well, yeah, sure. Well, will you sleep with me for $1? No, absolutely not. Who do you think I am? It's like, well, we already know what you are. We just got to determine the price.
Yeah, I said before, if I was a caster and I was offered the money to go, I'd go. Because the thing is, this is a sad thing in life, as you would know. I don't know how old you are, but this is something in life you learn growing up. People don't like how to say this to be nice. When push comes to shove, the only person you can really count on, theoretically, is yourself. You can't rely on other people to pay your bills and do things for you. Like, what do people like? I agree on the hypocrisy part of the casters. I think they've been hypocritical. I don't think they really care about gay people like that. I think it's just bullshit, if I'm being honest here. But at the end of the day, like I mentioned before, bills got to get paid. And like, if somebody has families, I wouldn't want those kids out there on the streets. You know, like, what do I want? Them being hypocritical about gay people or kids on the streets? Like, I'd rather just choose the other one. Like, at the end of the day, I don't want people like homeless. I don't want people like starving, any of that stuff. I really don't. So I'd rather just go like, hey, take the money, but just shut the fuck up about stuff I know you don't care about. Like, just shut up. You know? Yeah. Like, I don't understand why they got to go out there and say, hey, we love gay people. Congratulations. What the fuck did I got to do with League of Legends? But what the hell did I do with anything? Yeah. Like, I already play Vi. We know Vi's a lesbian. Vi's definitely gay.
I love playing Vi. She's so fun. Although I play her differently than a lot of other people do. But anyway, or I used to, I should say. I don't play anymore, but
Oh yeah, good lord, man. It's just like even just recently with Riot, the whole franchise thing they did. Riot were so big on franchising that they charged these teams like first of all they charged teams $10 million buy-ins if you were original franchise. So I remember when C9 got in. This is something that people have to factor in. If esport orgs don't make enough money, how the fuck were they gonna pay you 10 million? Like not let's say it was payments or let's say a PayPal kind of thing where you pay over in installments. If esport orgs don't make enough money, how are they going to pay Riot consistently enough money to keep their franchise slot? Now, the idea behind it was that the esports was going to grow, and grow, so that they could potentially, if you want to, sell your slot. So, like TSM or like Echo Fox sold to EG. But that didn't happen. That only happened once when Echo Fox sold their slot to EG for $30 million. And these sales that go on, if you read between like the fine print, they're mostly just trading debt, for being completely honest here. It's not really like they got 30 million in cold hard cash. That's not what happened, honestly. You know? So I'll ask you before we start talking about the LTS, do you think the franchise model has worked out at all? I think it's just been trash, honestly.
It has, unfortunately. I mean, mind you, when they first brought in the franchising mode, you got to remember when they first brought it in, it was on the rise. I mean, because they had just, had a tournament in freaking Madison Square Garden. So it was on the rise when they brought in the franchising mode. Unfortunately, because there's always a swing, and when that happened, it was a swing here. But unfortunately, we're swinging back now, and we're swinging back hard. And now they're just starting to hemorrhage money so poorly.
Yeah,
I mean, we only got 8 teams now in the LCS. I'm sorry, do I care? I mean, it's hard to even care.
Coming up next year, it's going to be 6 or it's 7 with the promotion relegation. Yeah, so I don't know if you read the new story. So basically, they're going to end up getting rid of 2 more teams. They're going to dismantle the Mexico region, which is LLA, and they're going to add in one of their teams to our league. So we're going to only have basically 7 teams going forward. It's just crazy, man. Like it's before.
What they should do is just combine all of America, North America, South America, all of it into one league, because that way you get all the viewerships going to one league, and that way you actually might start making money. But unfortunately, Riot is bound. I mean, Riot, let's just be real. It seems like Riot's just bound and determined to kill the LCS as it is, which is sad.
I don't think they care for it anymore, really.
I don't think so either. I think they're
what's his name? Return. John Needham is like, we care. I say some bullshit. Like the actions of a person should definitely speak, right? And then you have that. What was that revenue sharing thing they had with the franchise model? Teams are just now getting more money now. And the only reason they can get more money now is because there's less teams in the league for money to go around. And they're changing that to a stipend thing going on. And it's just been really bad. Player salaries have been inflated. Teams are offering players all this money to come over here. They fucking fail. So then the value of the market is inflated to the point where, like, if I don't want to pay that exuberant price, then the player doesn't have a team because their buyouts are bigger. It's just a mess. It's so bad. Like, dude, Jack on Twitter literally mentioned the fact that he just brought Cloud9 back to profitability when they had that One Piece collab they had late last year. It's like, guys, Cloud9 and Team Liquid are some of the most like recognizable orgs in the space. If Cloud9 is not profitable, that's really bad. That's awful. That's really bad. You know, I don't know how long this is going to be a thing. I still have the LCK and the LPL. So all of us, what was the thing of me on Twitter? Better start learning Chinese, boy. Oh, we still have the LCK. We still have the LCK, even if things completely fall apart.
The LCK, mind you, as much as we hate, as much as we can downplay the LCS dying, the LEC is making money, the LCK is making money, and the LPL is making a shitload of money. So,
1 second. All right, so you watched the games before we took the break, right? You watched.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll ask you a Cloud9 question because you got Cloud9, and so do I. Did you really think Fudge needed to be replaced with Thanatos?
I don't think Fudge was the issue. I really don't, because I mean he's a solid player. I mean, if you put him in a weak position, he's gonna do well. If you put him in a strong position, he's really gonna do well. I don't think Fudge was the issue. I really think that JoJo was the issue. So when they benched him for Thanatos, and don't get me wrong, Thanatos, I mean, he's good. The guy's good. I don't want to downplay skill at any point.
He's definitely talented. Yeah.
It's like, oh, we broke our leg. Let's put a cast on the arm. I'm sorry, what? So, I mean, granted, they brought back Reaper, which I mean,
that's an upgrade.
Reaper's by far and away the best coach in the world. No questions asked. I don't think anybody's ever going to argue that, except for maybe some diehard idiots who don't know what a coach is. but so he is. So if there's a guy who can make JoJo the best mid laner possible, it is Reaper. So I'm like I said, I really don't see how Fudge was the issue. And mind you, Fudge is still the backup, but like I said, I don't see how he was the issue. I really just think it was, like I said, we broke our leg, so let's put a cast on the arm. It's like, no, he's not the problem. JoJo is.
I think one of the biggest issues with him, I think Fudge was a problem, but I think it was the main issue. It happened with Vulcan. Vulcan hasn't been good for a while at this point. He hasn't been good since when he was at EG last year. He was big because him and FBI, remember, people were saying that's supposed to be one of the best bot lanes. FBI Vulcan, names on paper sound great.
They were crushing it.
At first they were stomping at first. And then he tanks off a cliff, he goes to FlyQuest. Not even goes off a cliff. He goes into orbit in space and explodes. And he's just back to Cloud9, and he's just not good. Mm-hmm. And then now you're with Berserker, and him and Berserker do not work well. Even in the games now with Cloud9, they don't have any synergy whatsoever. You know, like I know they had to replace Sven because you in the group I was very vocal. I don't think Sven was that good of a support. But that doesn't mean you just go out and get someone that just doesn't synergize with Berserker. Like when I'm saying replace somebody, I'm not saying replace someone just to do it. I'm saying, hey, this guy's not good and can't advance the team. You got to get somebody else. You know, Vulcan. You're thinking on paper, okay, if he comes back to Cloud9, can it be a little bit better? It hasn't, honestly. He looks just meh, honestly.
Yeah,
he looks better than I would split. That's not saying much, you know.
Well, it reminds me of when Elimination was towards the end of his career, where they were just like, we're gonna put him in. It's like he's playing champions that are not his style. What are we even doing here? And granted, he wanted to retire for a while, but he was still playing because they needed him. So. And mind, this is when he was like on FlyQuest and stuff, not when he was on C9. Because when he was on C9, he was still damn good. But
remember after he was on Optic Gaming? Oh, that was just tragic.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh, that was.
How long was he on Optic Gaming for? Like what, 2 weeks?
Oh shit! Who did they replace him with? They replaced him with someone after spring because he just ran that shit into the ground.
He didn't care. Let's be real. He was. I mean, mind you. Okay, let me put it this way. I'm 35. He's like 2 years younger than me. And so, yeah, like I said, at his last few games, especially on Optic, he clearly did not care. He's like, I'm here to
got the paycheck when the franchising system came in, just cashed out.
Yep.
You know what? Do you know what I think a big problem with the team is? And I think last year at Worlds, this was really apparent. Despite Blabber being as good as he is here, he's not the smartest at knowing when to pressure on the map at certain points.
Yes.
He's not good.
I've been saying that for his entire career.
It's not that it's not that he's bad. It's not that he's stupid. It's just the fact that he only is very linear at pathing towards top. He never ganks for bot. I don't know why this guy is allergic to going bot lane, knowing that Berserker can easily carry a game if he's ahead. We've seen it. If he's ahead, Berserker can carry a game. He doesn't really gank for mid. I don't know what obsession he has with top lane, but he doesn't even really gank for top lane very well. He's not saying he's one-dimensional, but he doesn't know when to effectively affect the map in other areas. Because if top lane's going good, he knows how to pressure top lane well. But if top lane is just kind of in an even state, he doesn't do anything else. He just doesn't do anything. He just power farms.
Well, his best champions are stuff like Graves and Olaf, stuff that really they don't really gank well, but what they do is they get into the 1v1 skirmish with the other jungler and kill them. Those are his best champions, and that's why I want to make this very clear. I do not want to undersell his skill. He is damn good. But like I said, his entire focus is the jungle, and a lot of times ganking is whatever about ganking. I'm gonna go kill the jungle now.
Right. You know, there's more to ganking than just pathing to one lane and getting that person ahead. Because maybe he thinks in his head, okay, Berserker and Vulcan are good enough to get ahead on their own. But that's not how any best team in the world does anything. Owner on T1 will still path to bot lane, even though he knows that Gumayusi and Keria can win a lane. Just because it's a tip for anyone who's a jungler. Just because you think a lane is good that doesn't mean you just don't go there. You first of all, you can constantly keep pressure going. That Blabber for some reason just doesn't do that. He used to gank. The last person that I think really ganked for a C9 bot lane good and well was Sven Skarin back when we still had him. Mm-hmm. Ever since Blabber came in, just doesn't really consider bot lane a priority. I just don't know why he doesn't gank for bot.
He considers ganking a priority. I really don't.
Yeah,
because like I said, he's good, but like I said, his entire focus is the jungle. He wants to kill the enemy jungle, and if that means he's not going to gank, well, I'm sorry, I'm not ganking. And he doesn't realize that a lot, especially jungle, especially is a position where you can give up the farm just to get your ADC that extra kill, and it's worth it. It's 100% worth it. When I play, it reminds me when I played, I was playing a game as Rammus, and what I did is what's up?
Hold on, okay. That's a weird champion of flex. Okay, I like where this is going.
This was spinning the wind. The constant thing I would do with Rammus is I would literally get every one of my lanes a kill, and then it's like, okay, I can literally just sit back in the well and wait, and the game's automatically going to win itself because I've given each of my lanes a huge advantage. I remember one game where I forgot to take Smite because I'm an idiot, but I don't remember who. I want to say I was playing Silas, but like Mike said, I forgot to make Smite. So what I did is I just killed the blue buff, went back because I had to go back since I didn't have Smite. I had no health. Went back, killed one more farm, went back again, then ganked top. We got the kill, and I didn't even stop to kill the skull crab or anything. I just passed right down the river to mid. We killed the mid laner and did the same damn thing to bot, and we got got the ADC a double kill. And it's, I mean, mind you, the only reason that worked is because no one was expecting it. They're like, oh, he's gonna be in his jungle trying to farm. What the fuck is he doing behind our tower?
I had that one time. I was playing Xin Zhao, and I forgot to take Smite like you did. So I did what you exactly did, and then I went and bought a Vamp Scepter, and I just survived jungling off a Vamp Scepter. Not even kidding. That's horrible.
When you're Xin Zhao, you can do that.
You can't. He's one of the champions where you can do that, and surprisingly, we won because all the lanes miraculously just started winning. I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I actually basically ran it down in Champ Select. I'm actually sorry.
Thank you for carrying me.
The another thing with Cloud9, I think Jojo Pion has been a fine pickup outside of a Menace. I think he's been good for them. Berserker, for some reason, he went from like the best ADC in the league to just doing all right. I think that has to be because of Vulcan. Because you have to understand, when you're playing bot lane, you would know this. If you're playing bot lane and your support is not good, or you guys aren't synergying, or you guys have good synergy, you're gonna look bad. The ADC will look bad. It's just what it is, And I'm glad Reaper's back. Because if you look at his resume, success is just far gone. This man has been so successful. I mean, if they don't listen to this guy, and if he can't get them to work, then I don't know who can get them to work. Koma, fucking Kim Jun on fucking Genji. I don't know if Reaper can't get them to work. I don't know what coach can do it, because I don't think Mithy was a good. People in the group are like, Mithy shouldn't have been fired. I'll be honest here. Mithy always hits the ceiling with his coaching. Happens in every org. Fnatic, 100 Thieves, when he wasn't Cloud9 before, and when they kicked him, he always hits he always hits a ceiling as a coach. He has only one real way of getting a team to play the game, actually. Yeah. So I was glad Reaper came back, but it just depends on Blabber and Vulcan synergy. Unless it improves, I think Cloud9 themselves later on throughout the year when they get to Worlds will eventually have these issues. I just don't know what they can really do. I mean, they might win the LCS, but winning here doesn't really mean anything anymore.
Well, yeah. Mithy, I think, is a good lane coach. He can teach you how to play a lane, but I don't think he's a good game coach. I don't think he has a good broad picture of how the game is played, unfortunately.
All right, let's go to another team. Let's go to the team that's in the title, Shopify Rebellion. Complete dog shit. Actually, just straight up bad. We don't win watching. I'm just saying, when we watch these games, people, we don't win anything. We lose watching these games. I lose time of my I lose precious free time of my life watching these games. This is what happened with Team Vitality in Europe. Towards summer, they swapped out their jungler Douglas for this other guy named Linsis or Linkus, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah,
the same thing Shopify Rebellion did. Come on, the Shopify Rebellion core was the TSM core from last year with Insanity, Boogie, and what's his name? Fucking hell. They had that core. the mid jungle.
Yeah.
So in spring, they had Fate God, who was on the academy team, and you had what's his name? B-Boy. It was Wild Turtle, then B-Boy, and now you have Zazel. And then now you swapped out Boogie for Tomio. Tomio looks like he doesn't know what to do on stage at all. He actually doesn't look, he doesn't know what to do at anything. This guy just walks around and just does nothing, and they lose the game. He literally looks like he goes on stage, forgot how to play League at all, and just runs it down. Not all his fault, because every lane is losing, but this is why you don't make jungle changes in summer. Because people at the you would know that you play jungle. If you swap out a jungler at a crucial point of the year, people forget the jungler almost dictates how the macro of the team even goes. Easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
He swapped Boogie out, and Boogie wasn't like, and Boogie wasn't like great, but he made stuff happen. Tomio doesn't know how to do anything. It's over. Like, I don't know how you fix this.
He's literally just wandering around like a scuttle crab. I don't know what he does.
That Nidalee game he played, that shit was awful. That Nidalee game, he ran that shit so hard. Oh my god!
When I saw that, I was like, dude, are you just fucking stupid? I mean, because here's the thing: Nidalee is a champion. You can hard carry on. If you are rocking it with Nidalee, you can carry the entire game. Did he get a kill?
No,
I didn't think so. Which is sad because Nidalee is okay. We talked about Blabber being always wanting to dominate the jungle. Nidalee is the champion who will kill any other enemy jungler, pretty much. Period. And I don't think he even got a kill. Did he even get a Skull Crab that game? I don't even remember.
On the LCS Pros videos that they do now, that little series, he mentioned how coming up to the LCS is different from playing Challenger, because in Challenger, people will not as punish mistakes as they would. Well, that's what I'm like, buddy, have you been living under a rock? Everyone's always said that. Even in every competitive league, everyone's always said that. Where if you come from Challenger to this is much different. And when he was playing Nidalee that first game, I was like, Yep, goodbye, Shopify, really. Just go next year. Just go next year. Like you mentioned before, they haven't won a single lane. Guys, they haven't even won a lane. Not a single one of their players has won a lane to create an advantage. They've all lost everything. Even B-Boy, who's not even a bad ADC, can't win because Zazel is just not good anymore.
Yeah, I mean, B-Boy is not a bad ADC. He is pretty good, but the problem is like you said, the entire game is losing. It's like, well, try playing the game when you have 100-pound weights on each fucking finger. Good fucking luck. I don't know. Do you allow swearing on this?
Yeah, man. Go for it.
Okay. I still try to watch my language.
No, you're fine. And they have that same TSM head coach from last year, Reverend. He's not been anything good since he left Cloud9. And they also have Wild Turtle. You remember Wild Turtle from TSM? I told people before, you can have pro players as analysts or coaches, right? But for some reason, the community thinks just because you were a former pro player that you know how to analyze the game and talk about it in a cohesive way that people can understand. That's not true. That I don't know where that comes from. Just like Bjergsen, he wasn't a good coach at all, really. You know, people were mad at him because Reginald was flaming him. I agree with Reginald. He wasn't a good coach at all. Just because you were a former pro player does not mean that'll make you a good coach. The only one that's really did it well was Someday when he was on, not Someday, oh my God, Score when he was on Gen G. It's the only one that I really think did it very well. To be fair, he didn't have Chovy, so that makes things pretty much easier when you have a guy like that. Because most pro players that I've seen be head coaches haven't did very well. Sven Skaren, Bjergsen, what's his name? Golden Glue right now, you know? Wild Turtle's a head coach. That's not worked out. Mithy, arguably, is probably one of the more successful ones to some degree. Nuke Duck hasn't been it, really, honestly. I don't know what's been this, like, thing in the water where you just take a pro player and just make him head coach and think, well, he could just run a whole team and analyze the game and just and get everyone across to his vision. It's like, that's just not how that works, honestly.
It doesn't work that way.
These guys can barely speak about why they bought an item. I'm not even kidding people. Pro players can barely talk about why they bought an item for their champion. I'm supposed to have this guy tell me how our team's supposed to be run and how we're going to be playing out a macro game.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize is a lot of these players, they put so much time and effort into their one role that they literally don't even know how to play the other roles. And that reminds me of, I hate to go back to 2014.
That's fine.
But Pi was the first was the first player to get into the challengers when they went to Worlds. And the reason he did that is because he would play any role. Whereas the other players like, Sneaky or Amazing, they would only play their specific role. Well, Hyde was playing anything he could get his hands on, and that's why he was doing so well.
Yeah, or I would say Reignover's had some success as a head coach, some success. But I took people, I mentioned before, it's very few, far between. You remember that old guy Ryu, who was part of HUK and he was part of 100 Thieves for a little bit?
Oh yeah.
He's the head coach of Fear X. They're doing fuck all. Yeah, many
Fear
players.
Another one of those teams of like, have they won a game, much less a lane or anything?
I mean, in my opinion,
I think they're doing better than Shopify, but I haven't really been watching them, unfortunately.
I mean, we shouldn't be, because I'll say LCK should also be 8 teams too. I'll just be honest here.
Well, let's put it this way: who's winning LCK? It's going to be Genji, T1, Dom1 Gaming, or Hanwha Life. It's going to be one of those 4. Which one we don't know yet, but it's going to be one of them. Probably Genji, but
probably Kwangdong. Just kidding, guys. I'm sure they ain't winning shit.
Well, like I said, is when it comes to the LCK, it's those 4 teams. Period. Everybody else, forget about it.
And so that's my opinion on Shopify Billion, guys. It's over for them. Like swapping someone out that was pretty stable for a guy that's random. Tomio's not a random. They essentially put in a new guy who hasn't played competitively in the most crucial split, hoping that how would he fix their team? Like, if you're going to do that in spring then. I would have said doing it in spring because, spring is not as consequences or as bad going into summer. Doing it in the most crucial split, trying to go to Worlds, people don't understand. The LCS is now moved to best of 3s. The reason why best of 1s are deceptive is because best of 1s are not a clear indicator of how strong a team is. A lot of teams got away with a lot of shit last split because we still have that old best of 1 format. Now that we have best of 3s, well, now we can see how bad some of these teams really are. Shopify is completely awful. The best of 1s for a lot of teams really clouded people's judgment how strong they are. And now we're seeing how bad they are. Immortals, we talk about them really quickly. Trash, garbage, nothing's changed with them. Tactical is like their best player, but that's not good if that's saying anything.
Well, Tactical is one of those players like, he's either the best ADC in the World League or the worst ADC in the league. And it really does depend on the fucking day. But with Shopify, I really, really think they need a player like Meteos to take charge, because Meteos is a great in-game leader. He can get in there and say, okay, now we're doing this, so do this. But unfortunately, like you said, everybody of them is just walking around like a chicken with their head cut off. They have no idea what they're doing.
They have Mayonnaise as their jungler. Who you guys know is Armeo. Mayonnaise. Shit. That guy's been terrible forever. Remember his name was Grig? He was super trash. He's always been trash. God. He's never been good. Yeah. He was never, ever, ever, ever good.
He had one good game. One.
Yeah.
And when I say one good game,
he had one throughout the year.
A game where he was semi-decent.
That was on one Elite's game in a regular season game. Remember? Oh, yeah. I remember what you're talking about. Oh, God. Yeah, them, wrap it up. I don't. Immortals and Shopify, just wrap it up. Just get the fuck out of league. I don't care what they do anymore. Just season's over for them. It really doesn't matter for them because
Immortals is a team that you would hope could. Immortals is a team that you would hope would be able to get their head on straight and be like, okay, now we're going to hire this guy and we're going to build him up, and then now we're going to have, they're going to hire the players that they need to maybe not be good this year, but to build up so that we will be good next year. But unfortunately, I don't know who they're hiring.
They brought over Anero, who was the Golden Guardians guy for a while. But people have to remember, even Anero wasn't Golden Guardians' head coach last year. He had been relegated to, I think, team manager, actually. So, I'll be honest with you guys, these orgs are cooked. The next one is, let's do Dignitas. Dignitas, guys, it's always been trash. Forever.
Has always been trash. And
here's a fun fact, people. Outside of the Worlds thing they did back in 2012 before I started watching, the only time in the LCS they ever had a high placing was in the 2017 season when they upset Cloud9 in the quarters, and they lost to TSM right after that, and then they lost the third place match. I shit you not. They beat Cloud9 in one upset, then Chain lost every single best of 5 after that.
Yep, I remember that.
Highest placing was third. Their highest placing was third. Then after that, that was in a split where they'd even lost 0-3. They literally lost what? They lost to TSM, they lost to CLG in that third place match, then they lost to FlyQuest. Yeah, they lost 3 best of 5s in a row after that.
Yeah.
They've never, ever been good. Ever. Even times when they've had, like, rosters, people would think, like, oh, this one looks like it could do something. Never do. Well, last split, when they had Armut, Santorin, Ignar, Spawn doesn't count at AC. He was so trash. At Tomio or whatever, people thought, oh, yeah, this roster could do some things. No. Even when they have good players, they suck. When they have bad players, they're awful. I was so surprised people thought, oh my God, FlyQuest stomped them. No shit. Everyone stopped Dignitas. They've never been good. When have they ever been good?
I think what Dignitas needs is a good coach because they got the talent on the team because they got Licorice. Yeah. The last time he played, he was the best top laner in the league.
He's been playing good
recently too. They have the talent. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the head coach is clearly no idea because in every game they've played, they're not drafting any priority. Like the last game they played, they played Poppy versus Renekton, which good fucking luck, Poppy.
Good lord. Good little
yeah. You want to talk? Yeah, Poppy's gonna get murdered repeatedly. Mm-hmm. There was Brand, who I can't remember who the other jungle was.
I'll bring it up right now. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I remember the mid lane was Tristana versus Corki, which is another one of just okay. Pray to God we get to the late game, otherwise Tristana's just gonna get murked again and again. Which, by the way, Jensen was. Mm-hmm. And like I said, the entire thing they just picked the late game comp, and it's like, well. You have no priority, and as a result, they're going to kill you over and over and over again.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
And the thing coming into this matchup is that this is one of those matches where since FlyQuest got rid of Jensen, then this proves right here, was their choice right and get rid of Jensen? Guys, everyone else, I met Jensen in real life. I love that guy. He's awesome. But he has not been good. Yeah, he has not been good. Ever since the 2022 summer, he came back to Cloud9. And after that, he got off and went to Dignitas last year. He hasn't been good ever since. Like in this series, Quad beat him in both sides of the matchup. That's how you know your player's better. He got the reverse matchup and lost every single time. He just got clapped. He just got destroyed.
Like I said, I think Jensen needs a coach to be able to give him some guidance. But unfortunately, Dignitas, I don't know who their coach is, but it's clearly not someone. What's up?
No. Sorry. I don't know their coach right now. I know Flies is Nuke, Duck, and Mithy. I don't know who Dig's coach is right now.
Yeah.
This was the game you wanted me to bring up.
Yeah, so Brand Jungle versus Talia. Mm-hmm. Brand, good luck, Brand.
This is already shit. Look how horrible this is.
Like I said, it was an entire late game comp. And what are they going to do? What are they going to do against the Corki who's just going to make mincemeat of you early? What are they going to do against Talia, who, again, is just going to pound you into the dirt, metaphorically and literally?
Yeah. Because when you're with this comp right here, you have, three squishy targets, engages Leona, Poppy. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank God Talia could just knock you back. Talia's 2 abilities in her kit. Watch the W where she throws the wall up. The Trump wall. Yeah. She throws the wall up. When she throws the W up, everything's useless. Sorry. One of their champions, her, counters 3 of these guys. They have to engage, and she throws you back and poke you out. All of you are going to get chunked out. Mm-hmm. As long as she just stays safe, you're good. Inspired has always been better than Spica. Spica's he's been like okay throughout. He's been okay. People over him. He's all right.
When Spica went to Worlds, he was the best TSM player on, but that wasn't saying much considering
it was saying much at all, honestly. Oh God.
Yeah. I will happily drag TSM every day of the year. I hated TSM so much. But it's like I said, we get this entire game is just like I said, Renekton, early game champ, he's gonna murder you. Talia, early game champ, she's gonna murder you. Corki, early game champ, gonna murder you. Callista, the most early game champ in the game, except
she also
for
outranges
maybe
Callista.
Kane.
Yeah, Callista also outranges Tristana and Kaisa and Brand.
Yeah.
She outranges every single one of them by herself. She just would. Yeah. As long as Masu somewhat kites competently, you win. They just got draft gapped so hard, it's not even close.
It wasn't even funny, yeah. And I mean, to be fair, I love playing Kalista jungle. It's so fun. But anyway,
You're
that's beside the point.
You're crazy. You're insane. You're actually insane.
Dude,
like, this
I
here,
played
Jensen
so many
hovering
things
this spot right here. Like, Jensen hovering this. Why is he hovering this? This is not savable.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Why are half of them there? It's like, what are you doing?
Licorice just TP. Oh my god. Jensen couldn't save the turret, and then Licorice went, my mind's telling me no, my body's telling me yes. I'm not even kidding. He just went there to die. Just chain feeding.
Which is,
I'm sorry, guys. Dig is just not it.
Here's the thing. I want Dignitas to win because, like I said, they got Licorice, former C9 player. They got Jensen, former C9 player. They got Sven, former C9 player. I want these players to be good. Unfortunately, like I said, they have the talent to be good. We saw that in game 1 versus C9 where they just absolutely shit stomped them. The problem is their coach is not drafting any priority at all. And as a result, they're just getting stomped.
This was the game 2 you wanted.
Yeah, here's the game. Like I said, it's pretty much the entire damn thing. Twisted Fate is gonna stomp the Cassante.
Twisted Fate into Nidalee? Get off the stage. Yeah. Just get off. That's an L. Just stop.
I mean, mind you,
Twisted Fate against Nidalee.
Nidalee can make mincemeat of Karthus. Can. But when Twisted Fate is the top laner who can just, oh, you're attacking? Hi, I'm here now. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, and they're just, as a result, they have here at least they picked the Corki who at least has some priority against Tristana. Unfortunately, the rest of the team, it has nothing.
And guys, I like Licorice a lot, but he's kind of always lost to Bwipo. Bwipo just kind of always had his number. Even in this game, he just ran him down hard. He just destroyed him.
Yeah.
And Jensen had to counter matchup, or they swapped the matchups. He also lost. Zen is on Kai'Sa, so they're hoping for some late game scaling Kai'Sa against an Ezreal that could also just poke you out. I've never understood this Kai'Sa priority people have. I don't think she's a bad champion, but people pick her in the worst ways. This is a terrible comp to pick Kai'Sa in. Tears is awful. Isles is just jumping in because fuck it, we just want to chain feed.
This entire split has been just jump in or get caught out. I think he's had. I don't know for certain. I think he's had the most deaths out of anybody.
Like
I said, he's either getting caught out or he's jumping in and dying.
Horrible fucking series. This is trash.
And like I said, it pains me because they have the talent. Licorice can be good. We know he can be good. But like you said, Whipple's just always had his number. That reminds me way back when they first played. It was a Fnatic versus Cloud9 in 2018 in the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's Whippo pick? Oh, I'm going to pick the Victor and you're going to pick the Echo. And Licorice clearly had no idea how to play Echo.
Yeah.
And they just get stopped. I was watching that game as a guy who played Echo pretty much religiously because he was so good. Because he was a great top laner, he was a great jungler, and he was a great mid laner at that time. You could play him anywhere. And I was playing him a lot. And it was very clear he had no idea how to play Echo. He had no idea what was going on.
What also sucks about this matchup is that there was all this like rivalry hype coming into it. Dignitas put out this diss track on FlyQuest, and they just got clapped. Bro, it was like the Eminem diss track against Benzino when Doomsday Part 2 came out. It's bad. This was so bad. I'm not surprised Dignitas lost. They've never been good. They've always been shit for the most part. Even when they've had somewhat oddly competitive rosters, they've stunk. And I'll be honest with you guys, Inspired's much better than Spica anyway. He's always just kind of always has been. I know Inspired can kind of rub people the wrong way, but all that matters is how you perform in the game.
Inspired's good.
Inspired's good.
Clap him. I mean, Inspired's good. I don't know where people get this idea that he's not good because he is very good, obviously.
So, all right. Let's talk about 100 Thieves. Actually, they had their matchup against Team Liquid. I don't know what to say about this. 100 Thieves just is garbage, man. Suck.
Yeah. 100 Thieves can be good. We've seen that 100 Thieves can be good. The problem is it's very much a coin toss as to if they're going to be good or not, unfortunately. Yeah. Because I've seen games, I mean, maybe not this split so much, but in the past, they can be good. Each of their players has talent. The problem, like Sniper, when Sniper came in, he was dominating. We can't deny he was getting solo kills on everybody. The problem is, it's like, well, okay, affect the rest of the map now, and he can't. He reminds me a bit of Summit almost.
Yeah, Sniper can't side lane at all. He doesn't even know how to teleport properly. There's games that they've played recently, not just the NRG series, the Team Liquid one, they've had come up. He cannot play the game outside of lane. He is just going to be a somewhat lane dominant player. If he doesn't get solo kills on people, he just doesn't really do much. He can't TP on time. He can't side lane properly. When he split pushes, he dies. He gets his advantage over. Oh, the Dignitas game. Remember? He was split pushing. He killed himself. And then Dignitas just won the game. And then he had to like backdoor on Camille. And he failed at doing that too.
Well, wasn't it the Dignitas game where they got into a fight? He TP'd in, but he queued the TP pretty much after the fight was over.
Yep.
I mean, like, literally the fight's over. Everybody else is dead. And then he TP'd. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Man's just running it.
I mean, had he been playing something like Riven, I would probably be like, okay, maybe, because Riven is one of those champions that you can 1v9 on, but he wasn't. I don't know. I don't remember who was.
Because if people don't know, to effectively be a good top laner at split pushing, the reason why you can't die is because if you're really, really good at split pushing and timing yourself to push the waves out and get chip damage on the turret, if you don't die, that pressures someone to go to that lane and make sure you don't push fully through. The problem is if he's dying consistently doing that, he's just massively swinging the advantage from his team to the enemy team, actually. And when it comes to players like River, I don't think River's that good at playing mage junglers. He's always been good to me on like Vi, Lee Sin, Sejuani. When the meta's right now, Talia, Brand, and playing Nidalee, he's like okay at those champions, you know?
Well, unfortunately, in North America, split pushing is just, I mean, I will forever hold our best split pusher ever was High. And he stopped playing in 2016.
18?
Even that, yeah.
Oh, the Golden Guardians time was
he stopped playing a long time ago. And I mean, mind you, and to be fair, he had wrist issues. I mean, he made it very clear he just couldn't practice as a result of his wrist issues. And as a result, he really went downhill. But like I said, I don't think anybody else was as good as side laning as him. Even Bjergsen, who was probably the best North American mid laner ever, even Bjergsen was not as good as the side lane. Because here's the thing. If you put High in the side lane, he's going to get an inhibitor. Period. You know he's going to get an inhibitor.
Darshan, or who Zion Spartan he was called. Zion Spartan Darshan, he was good at it for a long time until he fell off. I think, him, High, and Bjergsen were the best at doing it. And then,
and nowadays a lot of North America is just everybody grew up in 5 and death bowl around the map, and it's like that doesn't work. That doesn't work internationally.
Good old NA round. Holy shit. Gotta love that.
Yeah. And like I said, that's why North America, whenever we go to Worlds now, except for where somehow, some way NRG beat G2, which I still don't know how the hell happened. Because, I mean, NRG was playing out of their freaking minds good, and G2 looked like they had all been drinking the night before. But North America is just getting clobbered at Worlds over and over again because, like I said, we're playing a style which is basically just death ball around the map as a 5. And
the only claim to glory for NA now is just beating Europe. If NA beats Europe at any international event, that counts as NA doing well internationally. And I'm like, that's terrible. Our standards used to be like, man, we could potentially sometimes maybe beat these guys, Koreans and Chinese players. But now it's just, hey, as long as we only beat a European team, that means it's good. It's like that's dead. Our standards have gotten so low. We are trash.
We used to be able to compete with Korea.
Sometimes, it used to not be as bad.
Maybe not winning, but there were games where it was like, okay, it's
pretty close.
Yeah. But nowadays, whenever it's like, where was it last year where they had where a team just got almost perfect game by T1? It's not
that was us. That was Cloud9. Remember, they got dismantled. That might have, and it's crazy. That happens. It has to happen against Cloud9. That might have been one of the most dominant games from a Korean team I've ever seen. They just clapped the shit
game was
out of
so
them.
bad. I was laughing the entire way through because it was the comedy show of how bad you could possibly be.
Blabber and the voice comes like, "Hey man, just give me Belveth." Imagine your jungler asking for a counter pick and losing to Jarvan as a Belveth. That
was sad. The only way it could be sadder is if it was a Hallmark movie.
Well, Quid, who was the best player for 100 Thieves last split, even got MVP. He's not been able to affect the map as much. 100 Thieves bot lane is just straight up bad. They've never been good at all, really. Meech is a Kaisa, Varus 2-trick. If he's not on either of those, he's not good. Ayla almost doesn't count as a player.
He's not good.
Yeah, like Ayla doesn't count as a player. He is just Hylissang for NA, LCS. Bad.
Hylissang actually has talent.
Not as much now, but he
at one point not so much now. Yeah, that's true. But let me put it this way: Hylissang there was a time when Hylissang could just make you regret playing a game with it.
Right? Yeah.
Not much now, but he used to. But I remember that game versus TSM where he was just spent the entire game going around making double left or right every life choice he ever made in his life.
Mm-hmm. Well, so that's with the 100 Thieves. I think the macro's terrible. The play has been really bad. Maybe they can bounce back. Because to be fair, they only have to make 6th place because Immortals and Shopify Rebellion have firmly confirmed that they're 7th and 8th. Because the next team to talk about is NRG. They haven't gotten better either. I know they got a win against someone. They got a win against Immortals. People are like, oh my God, they're back. I'm like, that looked really jank. That
was a sus game.
Remember the Dokla play where he was playing Cassante and he pulled the enemy champion between the mid tier 2 and tier 1. Yeah. They're so bad, guys. They're so back. They're so back. No, terrible. They're awful.
Yeah. I don't know what he was doing except for maybe trying to commit suicide in the worst way possible. But to be fair, if he was trying to do that, he did succeed. But
do you think NRG can bounce back and get to somewhat of a decent form?
I mean, NRG has a semi-decent coach because it's clear when they draft, it's clear they have a game plan. They don't always execute, but they at least have a plan. And they do have like Palafox is good. Maybe not. I mean, I don't know where you got the nickname Pal Faker because he is not as good. Okay, let me put it this way. Faker has gone downhill. Faker is nowhere near as good as Faker once was. Mm-hmm. Faker still makes Palafox look like a baby. It's just not even close.
Yeah,
it's
actually crazy. It's actually crazy that Faker, even though he's not as good as his peak, claps anybody that's just from here. Like Jensen, when he faced against Faker a few months ago back at MSI, man, that was like a bronze player fighting a challenger player. That was embarrassing.
I wouldn't even say it was a bronze player. I wouldn't even call him an iron player. It was
Faker as an old man can just beat all these guys here. That's depressing. That is actually sad. Looking at it now.
I'm sorry, I just pictured Faker coming up with a walker. Oh, okay, I'm going to show the kids how to this. And the problem is he's still going to do it. Oh man.
But Palafox, like before,
Jensen's number.
Palafox hasn't really performed very well since last year. It's been just like they've just been on a downward trajectory since last split that they won.
Even best, to be fair to Palafox, his best champions are all the super late game champions. Stuff like Kassadin, stuff that's gonna make you that you have to build. You have to get the game going late, and unfortunately, those have not been in meta for a long time now. The meta has pretty much been early game stomp for a long time now, and as a result, he's not getting his best champions, which is unfortunate. But
that's girl.
What are you gonna do?
Kids.
Yeah.
Woof. Good Lord. Okay. So after them, what's this team? Oh, Team Liquid. How do you feel about Team Liquid?
Team Liquid is actually good. I think I really look forward to seeing them finally playing C9 because let's just put it this way. Impact, as always, is Impact. He's always going to be solid. It doesn't matter who he's playing. He's going to be solid. He's easily one of the best top laners, period, because of how much effort he puts into the game. And he is easily their in-game leader, and he's doing a damn good job at it. So if there's like I said, Impact and Crew, which is kind of unfortunately what Team Liquid is nowadays. It's Impact and Crew, but so yeah, I look forward to finally seeing them play against C9. But when do they actually play next? When do they actually play? I should say.
Oh God, let me pull up the schedule right now. Let me do that for you. LCS.
August 4th is when they play, and that's we got a while to wait, unfortunately.
Yeah, because they're taking a break, right? Well, obviously, the Esports World Cup. Yeah, because now
they're taking a break right now because
Give me one sec. Make 2024 season. Let's do summer season. Let's do.
Yeah, like I said, you got Impact as the leader. You got Core JJ, who is easily another one of those guys who can just, hey, I got this. Let's go. APA is probably their weakest player, honestly, because he's kind of a Tristana one trick, or a Tristana and a Ziggs one trick, I should say.
Ziggs,
can't rule out Ziggs.
The three
he
tricks.
Will play Ziggs even when Ziggs is out of it.
He can only play Ziggs, Aurelion Sol, and Talia. Only champions he plays decently well. It's so weird how people keep giving him Ziggs. 100 Thieves, game 2.
Well, I still don't know.
Lost. And I'm like, I don't get it. Does he have to win more champions? Does he have to win 5 championships in a row for people to be like, hey, this guy's pretty good on this. We should probably ban this. It's not that hard, honestly.
Ban the Ziggs.
All right. Yeah, you're right. Cloud9, Team Liquid, 3-0. They have just the one loss, but in game record, they just have one loss. They're undefeated. FlyQuest is just third place, 2-1. Dignitas and NRG tied for 4th, 1-2. And 100 Thieves and Immortals are tied at 1-2 for 6th. And Shopify is just blast.
Shopify is 0-6. They haven't won a single game.
They haven't won a single game, even in a match. They've just gone 0-6.
Well, like we said, they haven't won a single lane, much less a game. So they've just
let me see right now. On the 20th, so that's not next Friday. But it's the one after. It's not this Saturday coming up. It's the one after that. Okay. Dig versus Team Liquid, Immortals versus FlyQuest, C9 versus 100 Thieves, and NRG versus Shopify Billion for Sunday. Oh my god!
Well, hey, good game for Cloud9. They're at least gonna win.
Yeah,
assuming they show up. I mean, I do got to be fair. I have seen games where Berserker or JoJo just decide randomly to not play and just completely lose their all sense of intelligence, which is sad. But hey. If they play smart, they'll win. If they decide to go off if they decide to just jump off the cliff, well, then what are you gonna do? So,
because that's the thing coming up is I like best of threes. I don't know why the LCS were always against best of threes. Riot ruined best of threes. They did themselves. I remember when it first started for best of threes. Put the factor in. It's just one real simple rule to it. They had 2 streams going. They made people choose between watching C9 TSM, CLG, and Immortals between Team Envious, Dignitas, Liquid when they sucked, and fucking
Liquid when they were
and they were like, best of threes don't work. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you have 2 streams of
threes work when you put the effort into it. The OGN, because here's the thing, Riot doesn't run the LCK. That's OGN who does that. And they make best of threes amazing. But granted, they have to split. They don't have it all in 2 days. They split it up.
Right. I just don't they were like, well, best of threes don't work. Well, yeah, if you run 2 dual streams of it, which is a stupid idea.
You're literally competing against yourself. What the fuck are you planning on doing here? It's like, we're gonna have the greatest viewership. How? You're literally competing with yourself. So you are intentionally cutting your viewership in half.
They're like, man, no one watches Dignitas games. Yeah, if I've been watching a Cloud9 game, hell no. What the hell?
Yeah,
it's that simple.
It's like they have Cloud9 versus TSM when TSM was good, and like you said, Dignitas versus Envy. Who do you think they're gonna watch?
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh god, man. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad the best of threes are back, and plus with the best of threes compared to best of ones, just for LCS, just for this region, it's better because that's enough league. After you've watched enough of these best of threes from these horrible teams, I'm good. Just that's that's a good amount of league. I'm so glad I don't gotta watch more Immortals games. I'm glad. I'm cool.
Yeah, I gotta watch Shopify Rebellion and feel my brain cells committing suicide as they go.
Straight up actually contemplating off of myself and watching that team play.
Yeah,
Lord. Well, so, yeah. Is there any other news that I don't know? It's just the Esports World Cup going on right now, and at the time of us doing this episode of Cloud9 Podcast, it's 4th of July. So happy Independence Day to everybody out there in America, actually. But yes,
I'm gonna blow up my hand, which I've done every year almost.
We're going to have another episode of Cloud9 Podcast on Sunday. I don't know who's going to be the guest on for that one, but we'll be talking about the Esports World.
It's not going to be me. I am going to be busy.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll just have to schedule on the days and times you can come. Because on Sunday's episode, we'll be able to talk about the Esports World Cup. And guys, you guys know it only runs for this week. That's it. It's a 1 week thing. Best of threes for quarters and semis.
Woo.
Whatever, I guess. Fucking hell.
I don't even know anymore, man.
Hey. Well, yeah, man. Last thing I'll ask you, is there anything you want to say before we head out, actually?
Not much. Like I said, I have my own stream, but that's about movies, not about the LCS. So I'm not gonna, if you want to look it up, I'll send you a link. If not, whatever, I don't care. Yeah, I'm pretty much good. Like I said, if you want to know some impromptu picks in League of Legends that actually work, then give me a call. I can help you out a lot. Twitch Jungle, the nightmare of everybody.
I liked when Rumble was
terrifying.
Fun. Well,
it's terrifying. You get a late game Twitch Jungle, you're afraid to step up because all of a sudden, hi, boom, you're dead.
I told people before, I think the LCS is putting out some really good content right now, making the rivalries with the pros somewhat interesting. Because before, the LCS was just getting really boring. And there was no rivalries or storylines. I like that. Now there's something, someone trying something. APA is trash talking. People are like, well, he shouldn't be trash talking. People, I was like, okay, shut up.
Well,
baby.
Mark is the commissioner of the LCS. He's trying to, like you said, build up.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. He's always been a proponent of that. When he was a caster, he was always saying, we got to get the plot lines up. We got to get these characters, these guys' plot lines. We got to give them a story so people care. Mm-hmm. And Riot didn't, which is why they're suffering so much.
Riot, during the franchise era, just basically tried to just be some sort of ghetto version of ESPN. And then that backfired because
I
remember game ends to the analyst desk.
The ghetto version of ESPN
with crumbs.
Oh god.
Well, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Cloud9 podcast. We'll see you guys on Sunday, 5:30 PST. Have a great